Good afternoon, everyone. I said good morning to the 10 o'clock crowd, but good afternoon, everyone. We have three kinds of people. One, the people who are sitting here with masks on. Another one, people who are sitting in their living room comfortably looking into the televised mass. That's the second group. And I am the priest who is deprived from wearing the mask at the cost of my life. But you all are protecting me securely in the way God is well embracing all of you. Today, the gospel is very kind to all the priests because Jesus says, those who bring a cold water to one of the little and humble disciples for the reason that he is a disciple of him will be rewarded. It's natural that you all want to welcome the Pope and bishops and great speakers and prominent priests and people. But the regular priests like us, we may be somewhat forgotten by many people, but Jesus clearly says, don't be discouraged. Whoever who could take care of a little need for my little disciple, he or she will be rewarded. In today's first reading, Elisha is encountering a Shunammite woman. The woman living in Shunem, was a woman living around the Babylonian exile. The northern kingdom was destroyed, and people lost in their searching for God. The land was all famined, and people were struggling. Yet, fortunately, this woman was living comfortably and wealthily and prominently enough in the village where she was living with her husband and probably the animals and slaves. So she was not in need of anything around that time. And Elisha, whose school of prophets was located in Mount Carmel, that was the seminary built by his master Elijah. And Elisha was the successor of Elijah. And from the mountain Carmel to the Shunem, it was about 20 miles away. On foot as a man, it must have taken a while under the steamy and hot sun. So by the time the Elisha was passing by Shunem area, he must have been tired enough, but generous enough. This Shunammite woman welcomed him, saying that we will prepare the room for you on the rooftop. And there we'll fix a bed and a table and a lamp so that you can comfortably stay there and refresh yourself and have quiet and prayerful time. All I want is spare your time so that we can dine together and share the words of Yahweh together. Considering Elisha's frequent visitation to this lady's house, she must have been generous enough and a good cook. I'm sure we all love the women with handy and gifted hands for cook. But when Elisha was appreciative enough to this woman's dedication, he wanted to do something in compensation. So to his servant, Elisha asked that check out whether she needs any. Apparently, Elisha was well known to the royal palace and to the commands of an army. So he was a man of power around that time. Many prominent people sought the advice from him. Considering his background, it was natural that Elisha thought that she might be in need of something. But this woman said, I am comfortable enough and I do not need anything. All I need is I want to have some wisdom from you about God and life. She was generous enough and she knew how to build relationship. She is a kind of person who knows in building relationship, we need to nurture each other. We need to have special attention to the friends we love each other. And she did it to Elisha to build this relationship. And she was kind of a down-to-earth person. And then relationship became warmer and stronger. To a point, Elisha comfortably wanted to stay in her place. She was having a husband who was about 20 years old and getting on in years. But there is only one thing that was lacking in her life: childless. It's a familiar story in the Old Testament. A childless lady again. A sonless woman means no retirement plans. Regardless of her wealth, she must have been somewhat anxious about not having son, but still, she wanted to know about Yahweh. That's what we need, building inner space. The person who knows how to nurture the relationship. They are well prepared with this inner court, where this person knows how to invite God's Spirit, so that this Spirit can be shared with the people. In the second reading, Paul, who was becoming also aged enough, probably in his 60s, wrote letters to Romans. And after all those days, what he learned, Paul the Apostle, learned in his imprisonment and in serving Jesus at the course of his life, he knew that there was one thing, that was everybody was baptized in the death of Jesus. That was not to be forgotten, that was not to be dead, but to be raised in life. Paul was very clear about it. Our baptism entails death, that is immersed into the water, and life, that is raised up from the water. That's what the life is about. Life entails dark side and bright side. But mostly we feel that we have more heavy sides than lighter side in our life. But regardless, we want to nurture the relationship. We want to nurture the relationship with God. We want to nurture the relationship with our loved ones, our children, our friends, and our husband and wife. And when we want to nurture the relationship, we know we need to be generous and down to earth in the way Shunammite woman showed to Elisha. Jesus was very clear about it. People can be well serving to the people who are famous, like big names. But people may be not motivated enough in serving the nameless and humble disciple of Him. Many followers of Jesus, especially the disciples of Jesus, they were not as good as Jesus, of course. So therefore, in comparison, they were relatively more accused by the people. How come you cannot do the healings and miracles? Of course, they were simply humble followers of Jesus. I've never raised sick people from the dead to life. I've never done it. And I don't think it's going to happen in my life. The capacity to heal the dying people to life. But what I can do is share my humble life with you. During the COVID-19 period, I've witnessed, and myself and 4 priests in the rectory witnessed, that you all have been very generous. There is an offering box outside of the rectory, and that was constantly visited by you. And you offered humble gifts and alms to the needy people and to the church, actually struggling financially these days. You knew how to nurture the relationship, how to fix your own inner space so that people can be invited to your inner space. We all need this generosity. We all need that. Priest needs this generosity to you, and you need this generosity to the church. In serving Jesus, we serve Jesus through the church. In serving the church, we need to serve the church through the people sitting next to you. And you've shown it. And that has touched all of the priests in the rectory. Yes, it's been a tough time. And it looks like we may have to wear the mask until probably mid next year. But we will go on without giving up, because we want to build the inner palace to invite the Spirit of God and to invite the friends in the Lord in our inner chamber. We all need this encouragement in the way Shunammite woman took care of the prophet Elisha. That's what we are baptized about. My sisters and brothers, again, it's been tough days. And finally, we are coming back to the church. And these pews are filled with the people. And we will have more people in this pew. But regardless, we will continuously live together, priests and parishioners. We will fix the inner space so that we can be available mutually. Love is mutual exchange. And we will continuously work together in this love And I thank you very much for your gifts to our daily life. Thank you.